What's going on, y'all boys? So recently I've seen some yippity yap going around on TikTok about Homelander versus Batman. Now this topic never fails to make me laugh simply off the fact that when I objectively prove who wins this fight, people are in complete and utter disbelief and in complete denial. Is hilarious. But before I get into anything though, let's tap in with this week's sub shout out. Today we'll be shouting out my boy DBK Trey. Y'all boys definitely go check him out and make some good content, and I appreciate you, bro, for showing some love to the channel. But without further ado, y'all, let's get into the vid. Now I've noticed a trend lately of Homelander fans going a little over the top and getting a little carried away. We were at a point where these Homelander fans were in their place, but recently they've been stepping out of that place and out of that line. Now I'm pretty sure I've established where I stand with Batman in terms of a character. I pretty much prove Arkham Batman in the word regular human don't ever need to be put in the same sentence again, and judging off the fact that Arkham Batman isn't even 1/10 of what comic Batman is, I think we can conclude comic Batman is also nowhere near regular human. Now like I said before, when we transition to comic book Batman, we are stepping into a whole different reality. Comic Batman is objectively a superhuman. There's this huge notion that floats around the comic book and gaming community that Batman is a human in a costume, but that couldn't be any farther from the truth. From reacting to and countering Supergirl with his strength alone, to going toe-to-toe with Bane and Slade in physical confrontations, comic Bruce has seen it all. Today we'll be going over all possible win cons and positive arguments for Homelander, and we will see if Batman can survive the power of the Homelander and come out on top, or will he get squashed like every other human who stepped in front of Homelander. Now, first, before anything, let's take a look at both characters. I do in fact understand that this fight at face value looks bad for Bruce, but when you dive deeper into the iceberg, you see a lot of things and realize a lot as well. Now it's 2024, and people still run with this super uneducated Batman stance that he is a regular human. Not only are people wrong about him being a regular human, but they are just completely unaware of what this man does on a regular day-to-day basis. Well, I'm here to educate y'all boys today because the stigma around Batman needs to go away forever and never come back. Who the hell would actually enjoy a hero who's actually a regular human bounded by regular human capabilities anyways? It's like if I just woke up one day myself and tried to stop crime, I'd die the first night. Of course, that isn't what Batman is. A lot of people in general run with this logic that if character A has powers and character B doesn't, then character A would annihilate character B. Sorry to break it down to you guys, but in fiction, this isn't the case whatsoever. So one of the main arguments for Homelander is, well, couldn't Homelander just speed blitz or fly to Batman and grab his neck? Now I have no idea who gave anyone this notion that Homelander is fast. His speed is highball somewhere in the thousands. Somewhere around Mach 1 to Mach 4 via being way faster than Jets and A-Train. Now don't get me wrong, this would be a lovely speed to fly at, but it simply just isn't enough to get within close range of Batman to deliver a finishing blow. Now you guys are probably wondering, well, how the hell does Batman dodge and evade these Mach 4 attacks? Well, Bruce dodges Omega beams, which are fast enough to tail Superman, and the Flash flying and running at full speed. Lowball that will be massively faster than light, which just gaps Homelander in every aspect. It wouldn't even be a question whether Batman reacts to encounters Homelander's turtle-like attacks. Now I could talk all day about things Batman has evaded that just gap Homelander like crazy, such as laser beams, superhuman attacks, and speed force users, but let's just take a look at this one feat Batman has that just proves Homelander wouldn't even touch him. Kingdom Come Supergirl flew at Batman with some devious intentions, and she got reacted to and countered, then one tap. Now do we really have to elaborate on who's faster, Supergirl or Homelander? If Bruce can react to Supergirl, there's no question if he can react to Homelander. Supergirl's walking speed is Homelander's top speed. Supergirl kept up with characters like Wonder Woman, Superman, and Flash, which have speeds lowball massively faster than light. These are all speeds that will perceive Homelander in slow motion. So yeah, Homelander's speed blitzing Batman isn't a topic you guys would want to ever bring up because it won't play in your favor. So now that we can clearly see blitzing and grabbing Batman is the opposite of a win con for Homelander, I don't ever want to see anyone saying, well, what if Homelander grabs Bruce's neck? Because if anything, Homelander should be watching out for Bruce grabbing his neck. Now, Bruce evading superhuman attacks is more on his low-end feats though. We have other feats like Batman being able to beat a character who was literally time skipping. His character was jumping in time and was steps ahead of Bruce and still lost. Now that speed calc is a whole different conversation, but as we see, Bruce had to use precog to stop this character, meaning that he could just predict Homelander's movement very easily because Homelander is too slow and nowhere near fast enough to perceive events ahead in time like this time skipper. One thing a lot of people don't realize is that Batman beats superhumans all the time. That's just another Wednesday for Bruce. Just because Homelander exhibits superhuman qualities doesn't mean he would automatically beat Batman, who people assume is just a regular human in a costume. People think just because Homelander flies and has heat vision, he's anything like Superman or Hyperion. Batman isn't like one of these weak dudes Homelander plays with at all. Now another argument Homelander glazers use is, Well, Homelander has super strength, so he could just pick Batman up and fling him or crush Batman's head in with his punches. Now, the problem is Homelander isn't fast enough, as we've already proven, to grab Batman, but let's say he does. Batman can't be flung because he can easily maneuver his way out of the air safely with a technique, as we've seen him do when he was falling from space. Now let's say Homelander does land a hit on him, which he wouldn't be able to do via lack of speed. Bruce would just tank it with zero issues. Bruce tanks hits from Slade, Bane, Croc, Clayface, and Grundy on a day-to-day basis, all characters with superhuman strength and superhuman qualities, like Homelander, except they have it on a higher scale and they have good scaling, things Homelander just doesn't have. For one, let's take a look at Solomon Grundy, a character that is strong enough to box with Superman, fling Power Girl, and fight solo against the JLA. Batman just bashes bro's head in physically, by the way, and brawls with him on a consistent basis, even 2v1ing two Solomon Grundys after being heavily weakened. Solomon Grundy's strength quite literally rivals Superman himself, the same Superman who could bench press the weight of the earth for 5 days with no sunlight, and again, Grundy's strength casually rivals that. And he's just casually one of Batman's everyday villains. Yeah, Homelander is just nowhere near this level in any way, shape, or form. Homelander's never even shown a feat strong enough to level a town. But another notable feat is Batman was able to tank hits from Lobo, a character who just outright beat the hell out of Superman, Superman being able to survive universes colliding and planet eradicating attacks and was getting harmed by said Lobo, and Batman proceeds to tank hits from this Lobo. Yeah, Homelander would break his hand trying to punch Batman. Batman also tanks hits from an Amazo that was literally stated to be as strong as Wonder Woman. Now Wonder Woman goes relative in strength to Planet Busters, and that Amazo was said to be just as powerful. Batman proceeds to tank a hit from that Amazo, who gaps Homelander in every conceivable category. Batman also tanks hits from Reverse Flash, a character who would neck the whole boyz verse. He tanks hits from Wonder Woman her damn self, a character who goes relative in strength to Superman and Doomsday, and beat True Form Ares, a god who is threatening the universe. And he not only takes hits from Wonder Woman, he literally knocks her out with a kick. And she most definitely, without a doubt, gaps Homelander in durability. So if Batman is doing stuff like this to Diana with physical strength, what do you think will be happening to Homelander, a character who got ripped by a feetless Robin victim? If we logically conclude using these feats, Homelander wouldn't even be able to put a scratch on Batman, because Homelander has never even displayed the ability to even harm a character on this level. Of any of these characters I have named, or even been shown to tank hits from a character on this level, Homelander was eviscerated by a Black Noir, a character who doesn't even have any good scaling or strength feats. His punches would objectively tickle Batman. Homelander's attack potency or durability is nowhere near characters who Batman has tanked, so taking a hit from Homelander would be cakeware for Bruce, and that's just if Homelander lands a hit before being neutralized. So not only is Homelander too slow, but his hits would do virtually nothing. Now, I know people's next argument would be, what if Homelander uses his flight to an advantage and shoots Bruce with lasers from the sky? Well, Batman has point blank survived a nuke that was casually leveling city blocks and came out of that with one fracture, so Homelander's heat vision would do absolutely nothing. Now let's say Homelander's weak feetless heat vision did in fact pose a threat to Bruce. Batman's shot gauntlets can absorb energy, so he would just absorb the heat vision to charge them further, so essentially Homelander would be making Bruce more powerful. So we've concluded Homelander can't hurt Batman, has inferior combat speed, his lasers are useless, and his battle IQ is nowhere near Bruce's. Batman would just objectively blitz Homelander. As soon as Bruce sees Homelander, he'll immediately treat him as a Superman type threat, mistaking him for a powerful Superman variant. Then he would quickly realize Homelander isn't anything like Superman after he disposes of him fairly quickly. This over preparation in Batman's head would lead to a very brutal death for Homelander, because Batman wouldn't be holding back whatsoever, using his most malicious tactics. Now don't get me wrong, Homelander isn't a threat to Batman in any way, but Batman will most definitely treat him as such. Batman's never been the type to play with his food either. We haven't even taken into account the power of Batman's shot gauntlets. And before anyone cries that Batman doesn't always carry these gauntlets, yes, in fact he does. These are standard equipment and he can charge them up whenever he wants. These shot gauntlets were able to harm Apex Lex and Superman, both characters being multiversal threats. There just isn't a question whether those two characters are stronger than Homelander, and Bruce just outright puts them on their butts. There just isn't a reasonable argument in favor of Homelander against Batman at all, and this fight will be completely one-sided without a doubt. One hit from Batman and Homelander's jaw is flying off. Homelander just has zero ways to win this fight, and the fight will realistically be quick. Batman would just do him dirty. Batman also carries equipment in his belt such as hardening foam that could neutralize Homelander for a period of time. This hardening foam was able to temporarily stagger damage a Justice League level threat. So if it staggered a Justice League level threat, we all know that Justice League would neg Homelander in 3 seconds. This would definitely neutralize Homelander, and Batman would have more time to do whatever he wants with Homelander using this. Mind you, Batman doesn't even need this foam to be Homelander. It just shows you how many options Batman got in the bag to put the big blue white guy 6 feet under. We've also yet to take into account that Batman has literally outsmarted a 6D god, that being the World Forger. Batman's intellect has even received recognition from the God of Apocalypse himself, so it's no question whether he's smarter than Vought's biggest mistake. Yeah, Homelander is just beyond cook here in every aspect. In conclusion, Batman is faster, stronger, has superior combat speed, superior combat abilities, better abilities in general, more hacks, better gadgets, better IQ and battle IQ, more tactical, higher AP and durability, fighting range, technique, stamina, and casually beats characters who would annihilate the 7 by themselves. It isn't a question of who will win this fight, and it never has been. I give this fight 5 minutes depending on how Bruce is feeling, maybe 3 minutes if he's not in the mood. All I know is it will be night-night Homelander.